Cole Caufield has been lighting it up in the NCAA with the Wisconsin Badgers so far and is creating a ton of hype around him. Ever since slipping into the hands of the Habs 15th overall in the draft, Caufield has had high expectations, and he's proving to everyone why he should have perhaps been selected higher. Now, many fans are comparing Cole to some pretty high caliber players, both past and present. So, we hop back on the Twitter and our community tab and ask the question, which NHL player, past or present, can we compare Cole Caufield to? And unlike last time with Pedersen, we actually got a lot of the same answers. Before we begin, I want to give a huge shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. SeatGeek is an app that allows users to purchase tickets to games, concerts, and live events. SeatGeek makes buying tickets simple as they rate them on a scale of 1 to 100. The higher the number, the better the deal. So if you haven't already, use my promo code IDGT at checkout to save $20 off your first purchase. Now, let's get into it. When you think of Caufield, you tend to think about his size and stature at first, and most of you guys base your picks off his size and skill. Perhaps one of the best comparisons comes from Boquist Time on Twitter selecting Marty St. Louis, but with more goals. The more goals aspect to me sticks out, and shows just how dominant St. Louis was in Tampa. But before we can compare statistics, we need to compare overall gameplay. St. Louis is a Hall of Famer for a reason. He was very durable and was a great skater. His main goal was to try to set up and create plays, and because of this, St. Louis often had more assists than goals, which is surprising and relevant to Boquist Time's comparison. Caufield, on the other hand, lit the lamp rather than setting things up. He had 58 goals in 57 games in the US under-18 team. Similar to Marty, however, Cole was a great, smooth skater and has a knack for making plays. So now, let's get to comparing statistics-wise. Since Cole hasn't played an actual NHL game yet, we'll first compare St. Louis' NCAA points per game to Caufield's NCAA point per game. So far in 6 games, Caufield has had 9 points, giving him a 1.5 points per game average. St. Louis, in 4 seasons with the University of Vermont, posted 267 points in 139 games, posting a 1.9 points per game. So yes, obviously St. Louis will have more goals, but it's only 6 games. Caufield had 1.5 points per game on the U18 team, so anything can happen. But as for the comparison as a whole, St. Louis makes sense. Let's give it an 8 out of 10. When I heard Theo Fleury mentioned, it excited me, but I had to pick Justin from Twitter's comparison where he elaborated on his own pick. Justin stated, quote, Theo Fleury as he has a knack for goals. He meaning Caufield. Honestly, I love this comparison. Both are outstanding stick handlers and shifty skaters. They're also both on the shorter size and can be threats in the attacking zone. For this comparison to be 100% correct, however, Caufield would need to go to 7 All-Star games throughout his career. Just a little fun fact worth mentioning. Theo Fleury had a total of 455 goals throughout his 15-year career. Talk about a knack for goals. And Caufield, if you add up his U18 totals, had 47 goals in exhibition games and 39 goals in the USHL. Combined, that's 86 goals in 83 games, making Caufield average about a goal a game. Caufield, now in the NCAA with the Badgers, is showcasing why he deserved to be selected higher. And similar to Fleury, both dropped in the draft. Caufield 15th overall in round 1, and, well, Fleury 166th overall in the 8th round, which no longer exists. Theo was a ball of electricity during his time in the NHL, and was extremely fun to watch. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Perhaps the most bold comparison comes from King Angus on YouTube, stating Alex Ovechkin, and we'll let him explain his choice himself.
My comparison for Cole Caufield is the one and only Alex Ovechkin, and not due to size or anything like that, but due to shot. How Ovechkin can get a wrister off in the slot just as Caufield can, to how they can both set up in the circle and get a one-timer off on the power play. I think that this is very high praise for Cole Caufield, but still, I think that this would be the guy that if anybody coming up could pass Ovechkin goals-wise, I think it would be Caufield. But with that being said, I still do believe that this is the guy that most people should be looking more in depth to comparing them to. And as a Montreal Canadiens fan, I have watched a lot of Caufield since he's been drafted, and man, the more I watch him, the more I think of guys like Alex Ovechkin. I think that Caufield and Mr. Alex Ovechkin are the guys that I would definitely compare one another to.
If you haven't already, check out King Angus's channel on YouTube. Link to his channel will be down below. So now, let's get to the final comparison. Dominic's Bulls fan on Twitter had his own reasoning and choice of words for his comparison. He stated that the DeBrincat comparison kinda writes itself, but he thinks that he, as in Caufield, will have better hands and tight than DeBrincat. When we compare Caufield and DeBrincat, many think it's just cause of his size, but DeBrincat burst out onto the scene last season, producing 76 points and becoming a stud in Chicago. The main reason I love this comparison is due to DeBrincat constantly excelling, and you can see the same pattern in Caufield. Caufield's statistics are getting better and better every season, and that's due to his great hockey IQ and reads. Both are electric, smart with the puck, and have a wicked shot. Both can also become elite playmakers in the NHL. I love this comparison, and honestly, it's my favorite. Let's give this one a 9.5 out of 10. When comparing players, it's always going to be controversial. Some people value a certain player higher or lower than someone else ever will. But as for Caufield, we all knew he should have went higher in the draft. Just look at all the mock draft videos on YouTube. Just picture when those 14 other teams see just how well Caufield does in the coming years. This guy is gonna be a stud, and the Habs possibly struck gold.